Conforti here. I'm reaching out to all of you, making sure that you're all healthy, you're safe, and your businesses are stable, or at least that you've made the needed corrections and adjustments that as we all deal with the new world of COVID-19. I hope you've all mastered, wearing your glasses, you're maintaining your 6-foot separation, and you've mastered social distancing, and it hasn't made you crazier. As your incoming president, I will not get the opportunity to, see you guys for the annual conference due to the cancellation. Since we'll not be able to get together, I thought we'd have an opportunity to share some information that might benefit you and your businesses. And also, as the chair of the education committee, it's been long overdue that we offer, something educational to our valued members. And between now and the Fall Tech Conference, we plan to have some material that will be in this type of forum to share with all of you. And I've had the opportunity to talk to Dane Bundy of Connecticut Steam Cleaning, or also known as CSC Services. Dane, how you doing today?
Good morning from Connecticut. How are you, Randy?
Outstanding. A little cold, a little gray. Still, it's been a cold April, and it's unfortunate, but we're fighting through it.
Yeah, same here.
So Dane is also the co-chair of the education committee, and we've had a conversation the other day talking about disinfecting hard surfaces and some new opportunities. And we both agreed that this was probably a great opportunity to share some this message with all the membership and see how they may be able to benefit from it.
Certainly.
So if we start the conversation, how is this pandemic affected the state of Connecticut?
Well, obviously, as you know, we're bordering New York, so we're kind of in the hot zone, if you will, but it hasn't really taken over Connecticut too bad, especially in the area we're in, but it's definitely here. The roads are definitely bare. The grocery stores are, packed, and it's definitely a strange time here, but we're getting through it. So
your commute to work is probably much easier than it's normal, right?
Yeah, it's really nice, actually. Usually I hit traffic every morning on my way in, and that's a thing of the past at this point. So that's about the only positive thing.
So once this hit, what did you guys do, or how did you decide that you guys could have an opportunity to make a change in your normal business plan?
Well, when this first started, we actually thought we were going to be hit with sanitizing of air ducts. We thought it was going to bombard us. So we loaded up on Oxy and AD and started getting as much stuff as we could. And honestly, it was the opposite. All the customers that want us to do it don't want us to do it until they're ready to reopen. So where we thought we were going to get slammed, we weren't. And then unfortunately, as you're aware, our hood side of things has dwindled down. So luckily for us, we made some adjustments and landed some other sanitizing contracts to keep our guys working. So
did this have a big impact on the team?
Yes, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, to say the least. But I've been able to sustain 68 employees full time through this, knock on wood, and so far so good. Like I said, We've had to really fumble our way through this, but we're getting it.
So what did you guys have to do to implement, or what procedures did you have to change to adapt to go from hood cleaning to disinfecting?
So actually, Pratt & Whitney here in Connecticut, I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're one of the largest worldwide. They make airplane engines and all that stuff. We do a lot of work for them anyways. So they reached out to us and essentially asked us to provide them with 30 employees full time to do sanitizing. So it was a blessing for us because we took any and all employees that we had that could have clear backgrounds and shipped them straight there. And then we essentially turned our business into a staffing firm for like 2 or 3 weeks. And we literally had to run background checks and get them approved and then run them down to Pratt and get their badges and get steel toe boots. And it was definitely an undertaking. But thank God we landed that because it really just helped sustain us through this. And then obviously our hood department still, is still going, but it's not what it was.
Right. For your normal daily operations, did you guys have plenty of PPE on hand, or did you find yourself in a shortage? And did you have to find out? Did you do a search, look restock your supplies?
So it's funny you asked that. I actually we had a good amount of stuff here, but we didn't have masks. We had the Tyvek suits anyways. So I was thinking to myself one day, how are we going to find this stuff? You can't get it anywhere. No one anywhere can find it. And then I don't even know how I thought of this, but I remember that here in Manchester, the next town over, we have one of the largest auto body and auto part distributor warehouses around. And I went, oh my God. And I reached out to them, and nobody would ever think to call a place like that for PPE, but they were loaded with it. So I ordered, I think we got $5,000, $10,000 worth of gloves we ordered. And then they had the 3M HEPA filtration masks in stock. And I think I ordered like 50 of those. And we got them all here, provided them to all of our employees. And there was such a shortage of gloves that we actually were able to supply Pratt & Whitney with gloves. And CBRE, who's the management company, they were in dire need. None of their employees had gloves. So we were actually in a position that we were able to help supply gloves back to them at least and help out wherever we could. So
that's awesome. Now, were you able to get those supplies pretty quick, or was there a delay in getting that stuff to you?
No, they had the stuff readily available. Some of the, like, cause we went through the gloves, so I would call them and order more. And towards the end, they were, it would take a week or so to get the gloves, but we had enough here that it didn't matter. And then the masks, towards the end, I think it took a week to get the last 10 in or so, but we have enough on hand now that we should be fine.
So while you were building up your staff and making sure that you had all your PPE, did you guys have to define new safety requirements, or does that just fit right into your business model?
We had to make some adjustments, and then obviously Pratt & Whitney has their own standards as well we had to implement, but it wasn't anything too different than what we already do. I mean, obviously, it's kind of awkward for a lot of people wearing full respirators that aren't used to it. So you're talking about having a full respirator on for 8 hours a day. It's definitely a huge adjustment. And obviously being in a place like that is a little scary with that amount of people in there. So, obviously gloves and the masks, and don't touch anything, and wash your hands, a bunch of times throughout the day. And, just kind of the normal stuff that everybody would do.
There wasn't any decontamination issues after the fact, like you guys have to spray down on your exit or nothing like that?
Mm-hmm. No, obviously we encourage our employees, go home, take a shower, don't touch anybody, don't touch anything. You know what I mean? Just the same thing I do when I get home at the end of the day. It's really changed my routine. I go home, and like, for instance, I was at Middlesex Hospital 2 days ago up inside one of the air handlers for the emergency room. So, it makes me nervous. So I go home and I strip down in the garage. My clothes go right in the washing machine. I sanitize all my stuff, and then go straight to the shower. So it's definitely a little bit of a pain, but it's something we got to do.
How's the morality with your guys?
So it's like 50-50. I'd say half the guys are business as normal, and some of the guys are really scared. I've had to talk a few of my guys off the ledge. I've had a few that wanted to tap out and go sit at home, which of course I would have let them do had they wanted to. But I had a good conversation with them, gave them a pep talk, and got them to stay, because in Connecticut it takes, I think it's 6 or 7 weeks now to get an unemployment check. So I didn't want to see those guys have to go home and worry about how they're going to pay their bills. So I'm like, guys, let's just stay safe and keep working.
So cash flow is manageable, and you're able to keep everybody on payroll, and at least had some form of income coming in.
Yeah, the problem is nobody's paying right now. So we kind of saw the writing on the wall ahead of time. So Phil and I took some precautions before this thing, and we applied for a line of credit extension. Obviously the PPP loan when that came out, and there was a couple of weeks, Randy, that were pretty scary for us. There was a lot of emotions running around, wondering how the hell we were going to pay payroll the next week. But we got ourselves through it, and the money from Pratt & Whitney is going to start rolling in the next few weeks. And I don't know how we did it, but we pulled it off.
So it sounds as if you guys reaped the benefit of you were the recipient of some cash from the PPP program. Because I know there's many of us out there that has not had that benefit. We
have not got it yet, but we were told that as soon as this next round was released, it should be in our bank account, hopefully, within days of it being released. So we're crossing our fingers.
Outstanding. So I know that we've had some conversation on the government level where the states are responsible for opening up on the 1st. Is Connecticut ready to open up on the 1st, or what's that position?
I'm still hearing, I think, what did he say? The 20th of next month is what I'm hearing still. They have not made any announcements otherwise. I know there's some petitions going around. I actually own a tattoo shop as well. That's been shut down. And I know that a lot of other shop owners and barbers and stuff have been petitioning to open, but I just, I would like it to be done the right way. I would hate for us to open and then get people sick. So I'm okay with waiting another month, but it's whatever everybody decides at this point.
So the main thing is that you guys have been able to find an opportunity since the hood cleaning had dropped off, the hard surface disinfecting or the sanitizing was able to boost sales and give you guys some opportunity.
Yeah, and believe it or not, my salesmen, I have 2 full-time salesmen too, and they've been out pounding the pavement for us. And I'll tell you, they've been doing a phenomenal job. And being everything is closed, you'd think, why on earth would you even need a salesman out on the road? But let me tell you something, they have been killing it out there and bringing in work, for the guys that aren't at Pratt & Whitney. So they've been doing a hell of a job.
Dana, are they reaching out to your existing customer base or potential new customers?
Both. So Phil actually purchased another hood cleaning company last year. And so we were working on that list. We basically took their cold list, if you want to call it that, their customers that they hadn't, serviced in years. And I've got them hitting that list. And then they're out doing cold calls. And believe it or not, our phones are ringing. I mean, we're getting calls. So they're out there staying busy, and they've been bringing in a lot of work to keep the guys busy. So,
and with that work that you guys are bringing in, is there any kind of payment terms? Are they issuing POs? Are they happily wanting to pay you immediately upon completion, or are they setting up terms? Or, I mean, is it any hesitation in wanting to do business with new customers?
So obviously, with the corporate stuff, we don't have a choice. You have to wait the 30 or 45 days. But anybody else, we've had our salesmen telling people, you got to put 50% down up front. We can't, you got to pay up front. It's just kind of the way it is. And nobody's really, balked too much at it. So that's what we've been doing. And
so no major pushback, right?
Possible,
So no pushback on you guys trying to implement some terms, just keep it positive cash flow.
Yeah, I think people understand, that obviously this is a weird time, so we got to do what we got to do.
Outstanding. So from what you mentioned earlier, that you guys have an ample supply of PPE. Yes. Is there any of that you could share amongst membership?
Yeah, well, I know you, Randy, had a phenomenal idea the other day, and I've been telling a lot of people about your idea, and I loved it. So, I mean, I would love for you to share your idea quick with the people, and then we can finish that part of the conversation.
So the thing is that, what does the networking or the power of IKECA and its membership? It's, the ability to reach out to other members where, throughout the country where if an area isn't hard hit or has a significant impact, somebody may be having supplies that are available to other members that you guys may be able to separate with. And it's like just that networking thing where you can pick up the phone, send an email, and say, "Hey guys, does anybody have anything that they can offer up?" And say, "Hey, what can you share to get us through our tough time?"
And I love that idea. If we could somehow implement that and set up some type of a hotline or whatever you called it, or website, whatever it is. I mean, yeah. For instance, I know you were struggling with PPE, Randy, and if you called me and said, "Hey, can you ship me a case of gloves or two?" And even if it got you through a couple of weeks, it at least keeps you working, and then you can figure it out from there. It buys you some time. So,
the biggest question that we're asked today is that everybody's looking at May 1st for their state to reopen, and the fear that I'm hearing is that, well, if they open, we don't have enough hand sanitizer. We don't have enough gloves or masks or whatever. So everybody's kind of apprehensive of, returning. What do we do? And the thing that we would have to do is just make sure that, we have at least enough to get out within the first couple of weeks to get started and saying, hey, we're at least taking what steps we need to remain safe and, taking on some, jobs that are coming our way.
It's a local distiller here in town has been making hand sanitizer, and I'll tell you, we've got an abundance of that as well.
Now, you is it straight alcohol, or you mixing it with aloe gel or
Oh no,
kind of
yeah, it's got all the regular stuff by law that's supposed to be in it. So, but he's shipping it to all the local grocery stores. They donated tons of it to the local hospitals. I mean, it's a really good thing they're doing. So
yeah, it sounds like I think throughout the country that whatever, if it's a brewery or a distillery, they've shifted production into sanitizers instead of consumption. So that's a good thing there. So I guess again that if you guys have an availability to share product with other members, or other members reaching out to other guys throughout the country, that they may be able to share or help with some of the materials that they have, to everybody can at least get a running start at being safe once they're
or share my distributor's information, you know what I mean? So even if I couldn't help directly, or was running low, then at least share the information of where you guys could get this stuff from,
So basically anybody can call CSC services, or all they got to do is ask for Dane, or Dane get your email, and
we just got 500 surgical masks too that just came in. And so, I mean, the stuff is starting to, it's out there. You just got to find it.
Outstanding. Dane, that's a good story. You guys sound blessed, and at least made an opportunity to turn it into a positive, to keep your people working, finding opportunities to differentiate your business.
We've got a great management team here, Randy, that Phil and I put together, and I got to tell you, we would not have been able to do this without them. I'll tell you, at one point, like I said before, we had a staffing agency through here. We had a table set up in the office, and I think we ran at one point probably, between 50 and 100 background checks, and those people had to come here to fill out applications, and obviously we didn't want them in the building, so they're filling out applications in cars. My director of operation is with gloves on, walking the stuff out, and then my office girls are processing the stuff, and then my operations manager is taking the people in the minivan, running them down to get their badges. And it was a team effort, and I'll tell you, I'm very thankful for my staff. They did an absolutely amazing job.
Like they say, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Good deal. I'm happy to hear that. Anything else you want to share, or we're good?
That's really all I got. I'm excited for for the fall. I hope we can still all get together in Milwaukee. I'm excited for what you and I are doing with the education committee, and I'm really looking forward to what's next. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, and really want to get this thing going again.
Outstanding. Well, we'll certainly have a conversation on our next project. We'll get out to the membership, and we'll talk about our next topic. Thanks
Fantastic.
again, Dane. Stay safe. Be
Thanks,
healthy.
guys. You too. Stay safe.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.